versus rigids. But before we actually come to that and say, is it a pitch between flexibles or rigids? I just wanted to set the context on the packaging industry and give you some perspectives on how the flexible packaging and rigid packaging view out or pan out in the world. While in India, flexible packaging seems to be clearly the big brother, and I would say around 60 to 70% of the
This is a very tricky question. I will tell you why. So if you're talking of, say, tube space, now when you're talking of innovation moving from, say, ABL to PBL, making it monomaterials innovation. But more than that, what is critical is the innovation to drive this sustainability. Because what happens the moment it goes, the structure becomes expensive, the customers are not going to change. I'll give you an example. So typically, if you see the industry was using 15 micron EVOH for a 215 micron structure. Now, this is something good, absolutely established. But I go for thinner structures, and if I want to really make it a big scale, cost becomes an issue. So the challenge what we looked into, or how we kind of, this thing is we redesigned the structure and reduced this EVOH from 15 micron to 9 micron to give the same barrier. There is no change in EVOH grade. See, that people change the EVOH grade and get it better. That's not what we are doing. The same EVOH grade, just by changing design, we are able to reduce almost like 40% reduction in EVOH, what we are able to do.
I would say that there are, and as what Nidhi was talking and Hitesh also, two large formats of packaging, which is the rigid packaging and the flexible packaging, both having their technical preferences as well as consumer choices. I would, restrict myself to three factors which I think would usually, influence the choices that the consumers make. These are convenience of usage. Second is the product category which is intended for packaging. And third is sustainability. Obviously, we all talk about sustainability now. On an overall level, this is my understanding is that flexible packaging largely is where there is a cost equation, and rigid packaging, where it connotes premiumness and where more of premiumness is required. While I say this, as I had mentioned, on
desire and the need, I would say, rather, to make things more sustainable. And while, throughout the day we have heard about innovations along the lines of having biodegradable options, we have heard about using paper as a laminate, and then, using some plastic component on it to give functionality. Apart from that, I think today the most of time was spent in talking about monomaterial options. And right now there are so many developments which are happening on the monomaterial side, in CPP, BOPP space, in P space, and even in BOPET space. And when it comes to innovation, BOPET innovation is something which I have deep insight into, and the challenge so far in developing monomaterial solutions for BOPET was the lack of seal strength. And I'm very happy to talk about this innovation.
In innovation in packaging and rigid is happening parallelly as it is happening everywhere in all industry. There is a lot of things are happening on polymer side, a lot of things are happening on designing of the product. The most important is how we can reduce the consumption of the polymer, plastic, by choosing the right design. It is very, very important how you choose the right design, how you can put the polymer at the right place where it is needed. There is no need of using extra polymer, that is very important. And the recent, because of the sustainability, the PCR is the part of life, because in category 2, it is already mandatory to put 30% of use 30% of PCR. And availability of good PCR is still a challenge in India. Though there are good companies which has come up, but acceptability of on cost and there. But the main challenge, it is there. I think I have 4 decades of experience.
Today, the brands are taking or talking about recycled content, meat, reuse usage, and obviously recyclability. I am from Cargill, so we have a unique business line where we cater to B2B as well as B2C. So I am coming from that experience. As we talked about B2B. There was interesting observation. So today we are trying to take decisions basis a LCS study or GHG study, which is important, where basically R&D and procurement is talking to each other and taking the decision. One obviously very controversial decision where we moved from paper-based bags to say plastic bags. Apparently it is not a very popular decision, but when you talk about LCA, when you understand how...
Thank you, Hitesh. Just to share with the audience, I've been working with my good friend Nidhi for so many years as part of the core committee. So I just want to share the kind of effort that has gone in, organizing this and putting this together is something that most of us would not be aware of. So I think we have a big round of applause for Nidhi. I think she's done a wonderful job, and I've seen her work through days and nights in putting this together, ensuring the content is right, ensuring that the people here are they get the knowledge that we are all here for. Coming back to the question, in terms of yes, I mean you talked about how can we optimize costs because PCR comes at a cost, and then how do you
Customers, we love it.